So because I out of public demand, I would start my speech with, hello guys.
Ah!
I was the first person in my family, let's say the first person in my entire bloodline to study from an English medium school. In standard 9, when I qualified for the TCS Inquisitive Nationals and I took my mother on a flight sponsored by TCS to Mumbai and we stayed in a 5-star hotel. My parents, after seeing that glamour, never stopped me from doing extracurriculars after that. And as you all know, that was just the beginning. After that, I almost toured the entire country for various competitions sponsored by organizers. And all of this would not have been possible for that one day when in standard 6, Ayush and Bhaiya and Vivek Bhaiya came to my class and they were conducting a test for selecting some new recruits for the quiz club. And I somehow got selected. And then they trained us and they taught us everything. They gave us the precious know-how that had been precipitating down from as long as quizzing had existed in Jamshedpur. That precious knowledge of, I don't know, more than 20 years. And the Ayush and Bhaiya and Vivek Bhaiya always treated us like the younger brothers. I didn't even have any Bhaiya Didis at my home. And my parents didn't know anything about such competitions. It was only because of this institution that today I am what I am. And then you grow up, and then it is your time to pass that legacy to your juniors. And then you grow up more, and then you see your juniors resembling yourself, and then passing that legacy to their juniors. And when you see that cycle, you realize that this is the very purpose of life. And of course, all of this would not have been possible without our teacher moderator, Pranav sir. Pranav sir, when we were in standard 9, Pranav sir had unbelievable test on us. Even today, when we have to give any responsibility to our juniors, we think a lot about it. But Pranav sir showed blind trust on us. You know, last year I graduated from Dex School, took world class training on leadership, and we give big talks about leadership here and there. In a few months, I'll be studying in an IIM and I'll be giving bigger talks on leadership. But the things that we learned in standard 9 in doing the various activities of the quiz club, in doing videos, in managing the various fests, the learnings that we got, बता them कि सर आपके बिना तो स्कूल चलेगा ही नहीं आपका तो कितना वैल्यू है स्कूल में just to get a work done. I remember also how those history classes of Nan Kishore sir would soon turn into a battlefield of or debate of the current affairs of the country. हम लोग history कम पढ़ते थे और बीजेपी कांग्रेस हिंदू मुस्लिम ये सब ज्यादा करते थे class में. And I respect Nan Kishore sir so much that I would say that if someday I become a big person, he would be the Aristotle to my Alexander. And I say today this from stage that if someday I start a podcast, Nan Kishore sir could surely be one of my initial invitees. I have learned something from each and every staff of this school. From Kusum teacher in our early days to Sunai teacher in our middle school, to Jitendra sir and Swarup sir in our high school. They all set the standards of teaching and knowledge from us. Now of all this, one would feel that I only studied and competed in school. But I also had crazy amounts of fun, most of which I can't even say here. Those corridors, that Swarnrekha Link Road, those school ke around Gedi Marna, that Chal Bhai convent chalte hai. That being more involved in the matters of that other school than your supposedly school. That will remain the stories of our behind. That we narrate to our kids and grandkids and also to the grandkids of each other. That your grandfather used to raise girls of that other neighboring school. To my juniors, I would say, keep fighting the battle of high standards. Don't get very influenced by the prevailing standards of Jamshedpur. Look outside the city, look at the national and international level and build something of your own and let the world be your stage. To everyone here present in the auditorium, my batchmates and my juniors, I would say keep working hard and as a kid who didn't knew the table of 19 said, कि जो पानी से नहाएगा वो लिबास बदलेगा, जो पानी से नहाएगा वो लिबास बदलेगा,